Good afternoon, evening or morning, my name is Doggo, and today I'm coming at you with a life story, because I decided, well, most people are probably not interested in my life, but I decided to give you a story anyway. So without further ado, let's get into this. So I was about, what, 13, 14 maybe? And I was silly kid when I was like, in fact no, I was about 12ish, yeah, 12. You know, I just started, it was about year 8 in UK, which is like 12, 13. Anyways, besides the point, I was a cringy kid, you know, I was into the Minecraft Let's Plays and all that shit. But recently I'd been having arguments with lots of people and parents and shit. And, well, I decided to, just go see one of my friends. You know, it was one of my closest friends, or I thought it was. So I go and see him. I'm like, well, he probably won't be happy if I mention his name, so we'll give him a name. We'll call him Mickey. So I went to go see Mickey, and I was thinking, yeah, I can talk to Mickey. You know, Mickey's a lad. Mickey's my mate. Fuck, was I wrong? So I went to talk to Mickey, and it turns out I couldn't find him. So I thought, nah, well, whatever. So school day began, and I went to lessons as normal, and then I couldn't find him. So at the end of the day, I was like, right, where is he? Because that morning I'd walked in with one of his friends, or one of our shared friends. What should we give him a name? We'll call him Sam. So I'd walked to school with Sam, and you know, me and Sam were happy. I'm just sitting, I was having a bit of shit, and he was like, yeah, we'll go, you'll be fine. So I go and find Mickey, and I see Sam, and I'm like, Sam, where's Mickey? And Sam's like, I'm not quite sure, I think he's over by the bike sheds. And I was like, great, because I'd ridden my bike that morning, and I thought, why not? Now this is a proper important aspect. So I ended up, finding Mickey over by my bike, and I was like, hey Mickey, what's up? And he's like, hey man, I heard you've been having some shit. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you wanna run away with me? Run away with me? And I was like, what? And he was like, do you wanna? He had like a stutter, and I'm trying to like not stutter as well. He's like, do you wanna run away from me? And I was like, from you? And he's like, no, with me. Sorry. I was like, I thought, how else would cringy 12-year-old me get back at everyone? So I was like, yeah, why not? So the school we went to was like a good 3 hours walk from the town centre, and we decided what else to do other than walk there. So, we started walking at about 3:15 in the afternoon, and we carried on walking, and we got to the Sainsbury's store that's like on the outskirts of the town centre at about 7ish. So we'd walked for about 3-4 hours. Yeah, so about 4 hours. And by now we were tired, so we went into Sainsbury's. We were messing around. I was looking around, and he was like, right, we need to get something to eat. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what do you want to get? And I'm like, I don't have no money. He's like, I don't have no money either. So I was like, shit, what are we going to do? He's like, we'll just nick it. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. So we go to Sainsbury's, and we end up, all I could get was a 6-pack of chewing gum, whereas he got some chocolate and stuff for us. And I was like, hey man, thanks. And he's like, yeah, you got to be skilled. And I was like, oh. So anyway, we leave pretty sharpish, because 12-year-old me was also a big pussy and wanted to get out there. So we got out there, and we were walking into the centre of town. We walked over a huge bridge, and I was absolutely shit scared of it. I still am now. I hate bridges that go over water. Absolutely hate them. Fuck. My apologies for that bit of silence. My program malfunctioned and started, I don't know what it did. Anyways, so yeah, we crossed over the bridge. I was absolutely petrified of, and I was like, like shitting myself. And then we got into the town centre, and we walked through the now closed shopping centre because the doors were left open. We could just walk through. We walk through, and as we get through, obviously the shutters were shut. So we're like, okay, right. So we continue walking through, and we get to the corner store, and it had like a Subway in it. It was like one of those off-license things. So I was like, all right, let's do this. He's like, do what? And I'm like, let's go nick. Let's just nick some stuff from the store. And I was like, and he was like, dude, are you crazy? I'm like, no. And he's like, this store's got like 6 security guards in. I'm like, shit. So we ran, because I think the security guards heard. We ended up getting to the centre of town, and we were there till about midnight, and we were freezing our asses off. By now I was wheeling around my bike still, so it was like, you know, I couldn't do anything. And then I continued to town, continued through town, and we eventually got to this really shifty looking area behind a bus stop and stuff. And my mate Mickey had asked some girl for some tobacco, because he was a smoker, I was a smoker. It's wrong, don't do smoking, kids. But he wanted to have a fag, and we only had filters and some papers. She was like, oh, no, it's fine, I'll go get you some. I'm staying at a mate's tonight, and I'll go get you some from his. So like, okay. She's like, where are you staying anyway? And we were like, we don't have anywhere. She's like, okay, well if I'm staying at a mate's tonight, I'll give you the keys to my flat. And I was like, okay. And she's like, wait here. So I sat with Kyle, you know, and I have my bike still. And then, what did I say, Kyle? I don't know. I sat with Mickey, and we had my bike still. And then she comes out not 5 minutes later. She's like, hey, you can come. My mate said you can come stay. And we were like, okay. So we left my bike at the bottom of the stairwell in the flat place, thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna be okay. The council flats will be fine. Bloody fuck, was I wrong? But anyway, so we head up the stairs to this guy's apartment. It's really messy and shit, but we don't mind. We sat on the sofa, and things were okay. He was like, do you want a drink, do anything to eat? And we're like, yeah, sure. And he gives us a packet of Crispies and a can of Diet Coke, and we're like chilling there now. And he's like, can I get you guys anything? And we were like, nah. And he's like, what brings you guys out here? And he was like, well, Mickey spoke up and was like, we ran away from our parents, our dad's abusive, blah blah blah. He made up some story, and I just went along with it. And then the guy's like, ah, okay. And he offers us fags, and we're like, yeah, or cigarettes. We're like, yeah, and we're smoking them. And then he's like, hey, do you want some speed? And at which point I'm like, no thank you, no thanks. And Kyle's like, no thank you. And then, so then I pretended to fall asleep. And then I woke up. I think I ended up dozing off around 2 and woke up around 5. And Carl was still at his fags, and the guy was like off somewhere, and the girl was like off somewhere. And the guy had ended up putting some porn on, which was lovely. He had CDs and CDs of it, and Kyle, they were all just chilling like that. And then the guy's like, right, we got some jobs to do, and he wanted the woman to go show me the ropes, and she was a prostitute, so I don't agree. And then the guy wanted to take Mickey and go do some sort of drug deal in another place in the country. At which point I was like, nah, I won't go to school. And he's like, okay, that's fine. And he gave me some money to get to school for lunch, and then I found out my bike was nicked. And he was like, and Kyle was like, just use the money, you'll be fine. I was like, oh, okay. In which case, after that, I got into school, I was in tears, I was frightened as fuck. And then, basically, the end of it all was, I didn't get my bike back. The 2 people went to jail for a long time, and Mickey got back safe. So yeah, all in all, it was a pretty bad experience. Turns out that he was a really dangerous guy, and I was like, holy shit, I got out there lucky. I really was lucky. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, you know. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.